What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jake from Citizen JV, and today I'm going to talk about Cronos: The New Dawn. This game is coming out in 2 days at the end of this week. So, this game looks absolutely awesome and amazing at the same time. I love the Dead Space remake. I did like the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes. I didn't very much like Resident Evil 4 remake. It was okay, but I prefer the old school one to be preferred, or to be precise, but either or, okay? Alright, so, The New Dawn. This game, to me, feels is exactly what I want it to be, other than not having this game in my hands yet. It's giving me that Dead Space vibe, it's giving me some Silent Hill vibe, and I think that's great, in my own personal opinion, and I think that's where this game is really going to give you a certain type of atmosphere to where I don't know what kind of jump scares that this game is going to have, but I do know that there is quite a bit in this game. I could be wrong, but here's the thing. I think that this game not only has potential, it's the fact of the matter is the Bloober team did an excellent and amazing job with that Silent Hill 2 remake. And to my understanding as well, that they are also remaking the very first Silent Hill, to my understanding as well. Don't quote me on that, but either or. So again, I think Bloober team is really hitting it out of the park after the Silent Hill 2 remake that came out. And I love that game. It's one of my favorite remakes opposite that from the Dead Space remake, or even I would say the Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3 remake as well. But here's the thing as well. I think the New Dawn, Cronos: The New Dawn, it's going to be a little bit of a mind fuck in a way, because I feel like, to what I've watched in this demo so many times over, and I'm just like, whoa, this game's crazy. It's like I said, I love the artistic design and feel of it, the atmosphere. It's dark, it's foreboding, it's very interesting and intriguing at the same time, and that's what makes it so suspenseful as well. And I think that's where this game is really going to have its strong atmospheric feel. And I really believe that, because that's what I loved about the Dead Space remake, and that's what I really loved about the Silent Hill 2 remake for that matter as well, because, like I said, the Silent Hill 2 remake, I think, opposite that from, the Dead Space remake, or even the RE2 or RE3 remakes, I'm telling you that this game really captures what those games did back a couple of years ago for RE2 and RE3 remakes, and I'm definitely getting a lot of vibes from this. I am. And I think, to me, it's a good thing. Now, granted, some people might disagree with me, and that is fine. I am all for people disagreeing with me, or being critical, or criticize me. You can do whatever you want. I really don't care, because that's one thing I've learned to deal with so many times over. And so I think when it comes to Cronos: The New Dawn, though, I'm loving the gameplay in this game as well. Like I say, having that Dead Space feel to it with the combat especially, it's like, how can you not love a game like this that feels like a Dead Space, but it's not much of a Dead Space? I know it seems perplexing and confusing at the same time, but in a way, if you think about it, I feel like that's a good thing. And for what I'm understanding with the puzzles as well, the puzzles in this game are pretty intricate. They're pretty interesting and viable in how to solve them. And watching, maybe, I don't know how long of the demo that I've watched, but even then, I'm just like, I was just so impressed with this. And like I said again, I can't wait for this game. I think that this game is going to be really, really good to me, or even for me, because like I said, I love these games. I think that if we're going to get more into gaming in the not too distant future, because gaming as a whole has been very expanding exponentially this year, and it's awesome. I love it. And I'm going to say something here real quick as well. I caved in and I got Borderlands 4 as well. So I might actually end up maybe doing something for that game as well, but we're getting just a little brief off topic. So again, with Cronos the New Dawn, I think this game, I see so much intrigue. I see a lot of mystery in it. And I think that's another thing what I love about these types of games as well. Because the Dead Space remake did that as well too. And so I really think when it comes to Cronos the New Dawn, this game is going to scratch that Dead Space itch, even though it might not look like or feel like Dead Space, but it is kind of Dead Space in a way as well. It's silly, I know, and like I said, to me it's confusing, but at the same time, I think, like I said, it's a good thing. I really do. And like I said, some people will say, well, I think that's an interesting take that you have there, but I think you're wrong. And like I said, I don't care. That's fine. Anybody can have their own personal voice or opinion of what they think. So, again, I think when it comes to Cronos the New Dawn, this game is going to really be a lot of fun for me because, like I said, I love these games. And it's the world. It's where this game's going to go in terms of its story, how it's going to be progressed in a certain unique way, and what this game really is going to have full potential on. Because, like I said, I don't know what the full potential is for this game. But I did hear one thing, though, too. A lot of review outlets out there are actually really critically acclaiming this game, though, too, really, other than the story being a little meh. But even then, that's telling me that Bloober Team has done a really good job with this game. And to me, that's important. I think it's greatly important to know that Bloober Team can do and to achieve to make a game other than the Silent Hill 2 remake can really knock it out of the park. I really think that this game is going to knock it out of the park personally because so many things that I've mentioned. And so I intend to repeat myself, so my apologies on that. But other than that, I really think that this game is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be amazing. And I literally can't wait. I know some people are going to say, well, never pre-order, which is true. But again, I mean, we're always going to have games in front of us no matter what, And that's the thing, though, too, because it's just like, I might be in my mid-40s, but here's the thing, dude. I have no shame of playing games at my age. I don't, because it's the reason why I love single-player games, though, too. And I think that's where, for me, I think that this game, for me, is really going to hold up magnificently well. So I think when it comes to Cronos the New Dawn, like I said, watching two different types of demos and watching the gameplay to its full extent, it's given me a lot of fun vibes. I love games that there is a huge fun factor to them, and I think that's where, for me, this game is really going to provide that. I really, really do. And not only that, it's the fact that, there is a little bit of I wouldn't say crafting. I think there is crafting, if I remember correctly, as well. You can make your own ammo and stuff, which is really cool. I like that concept and aspect of a game like this. But other than that, I really think when it comes to Cronos the New Dawn, this game is just going to be so much fun. Like I said, for how much I've watched in two different demos, it's just giving me a lot of fun factor in there, and it's giving me so much horror. And like I said, I love these types of genres. I love these types of games. But anyways, to much further ado, this is Jake from Citizen JV. Thank you for coming in. Greatly appreciate that. Any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys have a good rest of your week.